Sktv-Lib. C'est ma chérie, tu n'as qu'à assez ma yamo. Engi sano muni, te muaye yo. Engi lofa mui, te muaye yo.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
And I didn't ya to money, and I sadia ya to money, and I quantity ya to money, and I quadru ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I sadia ya to money, and I quantity ya to money, and I quadru ya to money, and I forget na ya to money. That's the biggie, and I forget na. Cause you work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
There are things we can do. We bringing good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and out part of the globe. For the top people who waiting to sell. The session that time and the efforts are rare. The broadcast we giving are real and the premise my best. To work with my life with us, yeah. From Grand Baza, Nima to Lufa. From River Sass, River G to Chile. From Grand Crew, Bombing, Cape Mount, Montserrat, San to Bacalu. From Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
Okay, so this morning there's a scene right here at the Tottenham Memorial. Now the is Choice on the Weber Avenue, right? Not too far from the Tuporo Junction. This has a vehicle you see here. A police officer decided to arrest. I don't know for what reason, probably for a traffic violation, decided to arrest this vehicle. The driver insisted that he could not stop. So the officer in question assigned at one of the Zone 5 depot, particularly at Old Total Base in red light, hang on this vehicle. He sat right over the wheels of this vehicle and they came this far. So upon reaching this far, some of the passengers in the car decided to get down, and some other people too were not in favor of the act of the both officer and the police of let's say the police officer and the car driver. It was in this vein that the police officer was being rescued by one of his colleagues. While trying to make an arrest, the officer from the Zunfa police depot got down and opened the driver's side of the vehicle and left. Okay, so this morning there's a scene right here at the Tottenham Memorial. Now the is Church on the Weber Avenue, right? Not too far from the Tuporo Junction. This is the number of vehicle you see here. A police officer decided to arrest. I don't know for what other reason, probably for a traffic violation, decided to arrest this vehicle. The driver insisted that he could not stop. So the officer in question assigned at the one of the Zone 5 depot, particularly at Old Total Base in red light, hang on this vehicle. He sat right over the wheels of this vehicle and they came this far. So upon reaching this far, some of the passengers in the car decided to get down, and some other people too were not in favor of the act of the both officer and the police of let's say the police officer and the car driver. It was in this vein that the police officer was being rescued by one of his colleagues. While trying to make an arrest, the officer from the Zunfa police depot got down and opened the driver's side of the vehicle, and it led to a commotion. The driver too got down and had a fist fight with this officer. So as he saw, they both started a fist fight, and then he was being rescued by a heavily, let's say another vehicle that was well occupied with some uncountable number of police officers. As it is been taken away, and the vehicle is okay. There's the officer is driving the vehicle.
Okay, folks. Melbourne is producing the show today, so Melbourne should be joining us in a moment from now. I know he got some technical glitches going on. Sktv-Lib, my man, what's up? What's going on, my man?
We can't complain, man. We can't complain. This is Liberia, so whatever the case is, we have to accept it. So thank God we're here.
Yeah, Melbourne, if you're hearing us, man, the video I sent you about our president. Can you please play that video, because we part on Sktv, we can leave our own God, and we can forget. We'll remind you continuously about what we told you. We'll remind you continuously before the elections. We'll put it in your faces. We'll bring it up to you, and we'll tell you. We are not backing down. We'll remind you. For those of you who are Christian, the Bible says, whatsoever you sow, so shall you reap. So you are reaping what you sow. And nobody cannot get vexed with us because we're reminding you. If you choose to get vexed, then that's your business. But Sktv-Lib, my man, from a social standpoint, as we're with Melbourne, he the one producing the show today to join us. I think that next month I will officially start producing. But as we're with Melbourne, what say you, my man? What say you from a social standpoint? We're not getting into politics here, but socially, what say you?
Okay, thank you so much, Steve. It's good to be here. Those of you who are listening or viewing the show, it is good to be here. Let's say welcome. This is Sktv show, and we are in partnership with Radio Forma. And Radio Forma is owned and operated by the Roof 30 Foundation in this part of Liberia. Well, socially, my brother, everything is just as it was before. You know, nothing has changed. Because so things can be happening from the other side. Then, of course, you be able to socialize. But right now, everybody is just sitting and don't know what to do. So at the end of the day, it's difficult to socialize. That's what I see from my point of from a point of view.
Okay, today I was scrolling because I normally read different quotes. I read different quote. So I was scrolling you know, hold on one second. Just give me 1 second. I was scrolling on Facebook and I came across a post. I don't know what's going on with Mayborn. I think that they're harmonizing his data. I'm not sure what's going on, but he seemed to be having some data problem. Maybe you'll read it. But you know, I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw something very interesting. I think this is good for all of us as parents, prospective or future parents. Something that we can look at. Someone wrote, let me see if it's a woman. No, it's not a woman, but someone wrote something, but one of my friends, she's a woman, she shared it. And, you know, but on top of her comment, this is what she said. She said, I'll be glad to give him away to her. Don't call me because he's an old soul and raised himself. But here's the post that she was reacting to. I want to read a post for our people so that maybe we can, you know, spend a few minutes on it while we're building audience here and while we're getting ready for the actual conversation. Mayborn joining us to take over the show. So like I said, by next month, I should be producing. I have not been on the show for a while now due to the passing of my mother, but good to be back. Thanks to all of you for your prayers, your continuous support. Thank you so much. Some of you up until now, you're still reaching out, you're still informing. But this is the quote, right? This is the quote that the person wrote. This is what the person said, quote, if my son grows up to think I come before his wife, then I have failed as a mother. We are raising our sons to be men, fathers, and husbands. We don't come before their future family. What say you? Because when you hear most parents now, most mothers, one of the very first things they will tell you is, you know, I raise you so that you can take care of me. You know, what say you? But this woman is saying that if a son would put her over his family, such as his children, his wife, or his significant other, then she has failed as a mother. And thank God Mayborn is here. We'll turn the show back over to you. What say you? What say you, Kessley?
Yeah, you know, okay. I think maybe it's sorry, right? No, I mean, you can go ahead. All right, so you know, it just like I listened to one female preacher. She was teaching at a seminar involved with women, and she was telling those women that are always involved in, you know, controlling their husband, restricting their husband of not doing, you know, or not pay attention to their mothers or their father. She said, imagine if it were you carried this child for 9 months and you gave birth to this child. From that day, you took care of the child, sponsored the child, make the child to become a man, a well-to-do man. And you having a daughter-in-law stopping him to do what he's supposed to do for for you as mother, what would you feel? So, you know, most parents invest in their children so that tomorrow when they are of the age of not able to work, so the child can take care of them, especially we the men. But it is so unfortunate that our women will not look at it in that perspective, because they will say, yes, he's my husband. I have control.
Okay.
So the lady in that post, I think she was speaking from that point. She had a experience. I want to believe she had an experience.
Okay, thank you. Mayborn, please, man, there's a video I sent you before I turn it over to you, because I turn the show over to you. You are producing the show. There's a video I sent you about our president. Can you please, if you have a chance to just throw it there? about the president. We just want to remind our people as we get into the conversation, saying, "So when a video, may I beg you."
Yeah, so quickly before I go to the video, I thought maybe you're gonna ask me also my take.
Yeah, I'm coming to that question, my man. I know the social question.
Professor will leave me out.
No, you now. Yeah, coming to you. So no, I think you follow the post. Yes, word. What say you, my man?
Well, my brother, indeed, let me say thanks to two of you for holding on. Indeed, that's the best thing to do. Even though we're facing, in fact, we fix with some technical glitches and so forth, back to back with our internet. But thank God, at least we are back on course. So again, to the social topic, like I listen to Brother Kesari, I think, most of our women, they're always getting things wrong. And for me, I will just say this plain. I will say this fairly, no matter how they feel. Getting married to the man or getting married to that special person of yours doesn't mean that you own the person. That's one of the wrong things that you always have in your mind. Getting married to the man doesn't mean that you own the man. No. There's a marriage or there's a relationship between you and that person, and the person have their family life, or they have their relatives, or they have their mom and their dad. But in many instances, you will see our women even around the world, whether educated, non-educated, whether they are civilized or not civilized, they prove that in fact they are the only, I don't know, group of people or maybe person who own that man 100%. And these are wrong perception. But you know the reason why they are enjoying some of these things is because why? The religious people also add up to some of these things. They lie to them. They make them to believe that when you get married, because that quote unquote for best for worse, which of course is a man-made thing that is not even into the Bible, they bring that and make it look like, he said for better for worse. So no, you are wrongly informing people about things. So for me, my brother, when you get married to people or you get married to that man or to that woman, the relationship between you and that person is different from the life of that person with their family. So you cannot call off. There's some of our, quickly, Steve, in many instances, you will hear some of our sisters, if you want your mom or your family member to come in, that means I got to go out or I got to have, in fact, I will leave. Can you imagine? If my family not going to make me to be who I am today, how are you going to see me? How are you going to see me? But again, they feel that everything is just about them. But again, I don't blame them. I blame the society, because society make it to look like everything that we live for on this earth is just about women and for the women. So that's it, my brother. For me, every time when I hear these things, I feel disappointed. Like for example, men will work hard for the high-end money, and when they are maybe when their women ready to work out, they will share that resources or that high-end money 50-50 in the name of, oh, I will with you and myself will work for it. So because of that, I had to benefit either 50%, 60%, or 30%. And that is wrong. So that's it. I don't want to chip in with that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. That Monk here. Monk, quickly, while Melbourne loads that video from a social standpoint, I came across a post this morning. I just want to read it to you really quick again to our audience so that maybe you can react to it really quick while you do your introduction here. This morning, I ran across a post I thought was very interesting. One of my friends shared it on her Facebook page. I read it. I thought it was very, very interesting. This is what it states, quote, "If my son grows up to think I come before his wife, I have failed as a mother. We are raising our sons to be men, fathers, and husbands. We don't come before their future families." What say you? How do you react to that quote?
What the mother says, she cannot come before their future family. Like what she's trying to say, like she putting the wife first before the mother, or I don't understand what she's trying to say.
So basically, she is asserting that mothers should be considerate of their son's significant other or the children or the family that they've established. They shouldn't put her first in front of his own children or own family. You know how some mothers can say, "Oh, I born you for you to take care of me, and I born you for you to take care of me." You know, it gets to the point where in some relationships are even destroyed when the parents do not consent, they don't agree to it. So, what say you to that? How do you react?
Well, I know parents are selfish because parents were the ones that made the initial investment in their kids when it comes to their well-being or grooming them up, whether it's about school, making a lot of investment. So I know there are some parents that will know their limit and their boundary, but some will go beyond their boundary, and that's where the problem is. I don't mind if my son was to get married, but I should make sure I protect him, make sure I can groom him up to be a better man. So no matter what kind of action he will engage in later in the future, the parent will always have a say in terms of guidance. Because take for example, no matter how old you become, your parent will always remain your parent, right? There is nothing you can do about it, nothing changed about that. So my thing is, I will take that statement. I would say it's a 50-50, but it all depends with the level of the parent maturity, because there are parents that know exactly when to interfere in their children's life and they know their boundary. Some parents, trust me, they don't know their boundary. They don't know when to prioritize their children's happiness versus their own instructions or how they want to groom their kid, even though they are all grown. But I would say it's a 50-50 chance, and it all depends with the maturity of the parent, because I know there are tons of parents out there that know exactly where to draw the line. Sometimes the child will have to make decisions, no matter you like it or not. When it comes to their own family, their wife, their children, no, I don't think it should be the place of a parent interfering in that. So I will agree with that mother, but I won't say 100% because there are times parents will also step in. No matter how old you are, I mean, your parent will always be your parent. So it's just about knowing when and where to draw the line. I think that's where the problem is.
Okay. Yeah. My point here is, you know, I think culture has to do with this as well.
For sure.
Some culture, the influence of parents seem to be very strong. Some religion as well, the influence of parents. And it also ties into the relationship you have with your parents, you know, the level of connection and so forth. And yes, in some cases, some parents struggled and they suffer for the children. They are the only hope, right? Or for the only child, right? So they are the only hope that they invested everything on. Some parents, especially in Liberia, some parents even drop out of school to be able to take care of the children, to provide for them.
For sure.
So this is a case-to-case thing. I know those who live in the Western world can say, yeah, I agree with that post 100%. But when you go to other countries and so forth, because you know in this country, especially among the white people, some of the things that they don't teach you or they don't show you that are beyond closed door is the people set their children up for success. Let me be honest with you. Let me say that one of the things they don't expose to us, the Africans or other groups. Let me say that it will shock you to know this, that the white children on a very young age, do you know that some of their parents put them on birth control, the girls, so that they don't get pregnant to twat the educational journey or other things? They do that. They set them, in the US. No, they set them up for success from the get-go. They do. They create an avenue wherein, you know, their children will be what, you know, we can use the word to do, but the children will be in a good situation and so forth. They wouldn't have to stress or whatever it is. Sometimes some of these parents, look, Monk, I find out some of these parents work to universities just so their children can go to school free. They don't have that student loan burden on them. You see how they are thinking? Some of these parents start putting money aside at a very early age for the children and calculate the amount of time they'll finish high school so that they can be able to afford their tuition without, you know, having to incur any kind of. So all of these small different strategies and so forth, they kind of put their children in. But majority of how many are thinking in that direction? When we say people get this, and these are some of the conversations we'll be delving into deeper. I think I heard that we'll be resuming the Sunday show. Melbourne, I don't know how true that is, but I don't know if that's still in the works. But these are some of the things that we'll be talking about as we come on some of these social things, you know, to encourage our sisters and our mothers.
Yeah. So So to that news, let me tell you, man, you just have to do the actual needful to get a deacon to abandon all of your activity. So that news, forget it. Yeah, they say behind the same. Don't allow for this breakaway. I don't know, the mentalist or Baptist.
Mama, homosexual, they're breaking over the mentalist. What do you say?
I want to So when you want us to renew or to recalibrate or to do our needful, you have to do what you're supposed to do. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we'll discuss that one behind closed door. We'll do what we need to do to be honest, because this social conversation, you know, Melbourne, there has also been complaint. The women have come together and complained that we'll be hitting them very hard on the show. You understand? And that complaint, Monk, even though he know what's going on, but Monk is fully aware of the complaint. Is on his desk. He been doing back investigation. So maybe Monk and all they all ask to why are your findings in that complaint? And what do you recommend?
The women pray before the Supreme Court, and we're reviewing that writ. And I think Sekou is aware, and I don't think they are seeing it from the negative standpoint. Maybe they get the perception that sometimes when we talk about these social issues, maybe our discussion be mostly lenient with men, or we are trying to impose. I mean, the thing is, you cannot predict when it comes to people making decisions as to how they perceive things. For me, I don't take anything personal, most especially when it comes to politics. Even when we talk about women and men issue, I don't take anything personal, because for me, the way how I see politics, I believe just ideology. The same way you grow up following certain rules or getting certain societal programming, that's just how politics is. Nobody is right all the time, but for some people, they take things personally. Sometimes we discuss somebody think it will not fly with them like the way you myself would just laugh away and let it go. And for the fact that we got a lot of women on the show, I think we will. I'm not saying like we be hitting on women per se, but some people it just doesn't go well with them. And when you start getting that constant flow of complaint, people saying, "Oh, you guys are too tough on the women. Let tone down the rhetoric a little bit." I think I would side with that as well. But for me, from a personal standpoint, I can handle these things. Some people come here, they attack me on politics and say a lot of things, but I won't take those things personally. But unfortunately, not everybody on the show is called Brazilian monk. We got different kind of upbringing. We got different belief system. The way we interpret information is different. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe if they believe that we are doing our job here is to make the adjustment, because they are the audience and we are the panelists. I always say when we say things on the show, especially when it comes to opinion, we are not always 100% right. We feed off the listener feed off almost like a back and forth conversation. So I won't take that personally. But if there are a lot of complaints coming about we've been too hard on women, then I think we're tone down the rhetoric, and I will push for that as well.
Okay. Yeah, Melbourne. So that area, we are working with.
So let me just allow to more quickly before you come in, Professor. I think more you may say that, but I think most of our women then that means they not, or maybe quote unquote we say that they are not being fair enough, because if they are also against, they are against maybe the way we sound, or are we contradicting anything that is not true? Which one?
I tell you show about what to you. Let me say it to you. Like you test me the other day, I told you I say I'm working with the women. I will not go against the women. No, let me tell you the thing. The secret I was told when I was very young, and I come today to understand it. You want to live long, you want your life to be happy, let a woman be happy. So the women on here, we are very sorry, we'll coordinate ourselves, we'll behave. You understand? I will not follow Melbourne. No.
You need a you need a
show. I told Melbourne, let me confess to the women. Melbourne, try to bring Melbourne, I will be like, I'm not part of your house. I will stick with the women. In fact, look, Catherine, do you know that women are the most beautiful women on earth? Do you know that?
I'm aware.
Exactly. You veteran, you been around. Even your stories are a year all. So you got to you show them. But anyway, Melbourne play our papa as we talk about the
Steve, there's something. Actually, I've been thinking the other way, and sometimes it brings me to what the Bible says. There are a lot of things that we see happening, and then it leading to scripture coming to pass, right? Scripture coming to pass. We must understand that your husband will always be your husband. And also, your wife will always be your wife. Mother-in-law will always be mother-in-law. Father-in-law will always be father-in-law. The only thing about it, nobody should cross their limit. Let the mother-in-laws play their role as mother-in-law. And let the daughter-in-law to play the role as the daughter-in-law. But if you were deprive your mother-in-law asset to husband because you have gotten married to him, I think it's bad. And that's why we see happening in with most of our women. For me, I don't on either side. I play a neutral role. And not for Melbourne, and not for you. I play a neutral role.
I take everything by I love my professor. They won't learn again. They make everything back. Not me, myself, I have to join.
Yeah, we'll take it back. No, let's take about an apologize. No, Melbourne, let's take about an apologize so we can live longer. You know what I'm saying? We can live longer. Look, going forward, the women on the show will be happy. Now the useless men that you will be dealing with. Yeah, we're not going to call you. No, we're not going to call you. No, we're going to go after the. But anyway, Melbourne, please, while we're talking about men, let's play one of our men. Let's play one of our men videos so you can see what would the men do.
Yeah, thank you, folks. So we transition now to politics, and let me see this video.
Yes.
Both committees should please escort the president. Well, that one man at the middle of the year, President Joseph Yuma Boaga, the whisper in your ear telling him what to do. After
you say understand?
Just go and shake hands.
Yeah, after he finished, he might drink sweat and go and shake, and then he said, "What?" So first, I think the men on stage, the men in power now. So yes, another man on the show. But let's start with Keseli. Keseli. What's the latest in the country? What's going on in the country? Update us really quick, please, before we go to Melbourne.
All right. This afternoon we saw on the social media another blow coming against the quote unquote majority bloc. Justice Clinton has issued a writ of mandamus against the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning and the controller of the House of Representatives to pay salaries and benefit to all lawmakers that were suspended by the majority bloc members. As I have the letter in the rate in my possession. So it's a blow. It's another blow against the majority bloc. It's another blow. And then with what happened between the AFL and the LMP, today we also saw a press release coming from the authority of the Armed Forces of Liberia, and they condemn the act of their men. But Steve, Melbourne, and Mr. Monk, our listeners and viewers, I'm kind of confused when I read the press release and I saw the Army Chief of Staff is referring to those guys as unidentified AFL personnel. When you saw the video, maybe yesterday, you saw the video. So how is it possible that those guys will not be identified? You have a pickup foot with well-armed AFL soldiers. How did they leave the barrack? By who command did they leave the barrack? But now we saw the Chief of Staff is referring to them as an unidentified, personnel of the Armed Forces of Liberia.
If you have those communications, can you share with Melbourne so that we can have it on the screen there so we can read it, please?
Yeah, I think maybe I think I will send it to you. I will send it to you, maybe. So far on the national scene today, that's what I saw, and then on our local scene, I'm always concerned about this China Union investment in our country because it has the portfolio of the highest investment, and this district is represented by Honorable family who once was an advocate, an activist. He was in the vanguard speaking. But with all that is happening, he has gone silent for the past months. Nobody hearing him talking, especially about things that are happening in his constituents. When he goes on his full network, he says other things. He want to focus on the majority block activities. And if the people could have elected you as representative, you would not be in the House of Representatives. You would not be in the legislature. But the brother have prioritized the workings of the majority block, and then we in the district now we are level room. We get on our own. Chinese people, they do whatever they want to do.
Okay,
that's what happening.
Thank you, Cassidy. Milborn, what say you?
Well, so again, let me say thanks to all of you, and let me say thanks to the Almighty Creator. Last evening when I left from the show, there was some incident that happened that was very, very unfortunate, but thank God, at least for our life or for my life, because it's not easy. So again, last evening, I bought a motorbike trying to get back home, but after informing the motorcyclist my own direction, the motorcyclist chose to carry me to where their quote-unquote their base is. So by the grace of the Almighty God, I have to survive that unforeseen situations, and I cannot even recall how that happened, but I know that by the grace of the Almighty God. So up to now, I'm grateful, and I want to be happy that I'm still alive. So I just wanted to inform all of you that what happened last evening after the show. Whenever the show finished, so I don't waste much time, I just get throughout or maybe get off the compound and find a way to get out and to go home. But again, last evening it was just quite unfortunate for me. But thank God that everything is okay. So yes, so back to all of the happening, and on tomorrow, by the grace of the Almighty God, yes, indeed, the CMC, that is the Citizen Movement for Change, will be in Nibakante. That is a political party in the making. There will be the convention planning on tomorrow. That will begin on tomorrow from the 28th of March up to the from the 28th of February to the 1st of March 2025. And there are a lot of people in attendance. People are gearing up for the occasions on tomorrow. That is beginning on tomorrow to the 1st of March 2025. So that's one of the first news on our decks. And yes, so with all of the happening back home in the nation capital, indeed, but Cassidy just said some of these things, like what happened when I'm in the Supreme Court, later news coming from the Supreme Court about the Madam Clinton rate of mandamus, citing the Minister of Finance and the officer who is responsible also to pay the legislature as to what happened. Up to now, 7 lawmakers haven't yet received their salaries or benefits. So that rate of mandamus have been sent to the Ministry of Finance, and we're still waiting because, Brother Cassidy said, that rate talk about the payment and benefits of some of the lawmakers that have been suspended, quote unquote, by the majority bloc. So we are watching, and we are observing the process. And also in our rate, that we also cited that the Ministry of Finance and the team that are responsible to pay the legislature should also appear on March 10th, 2025. So yes, apart from that, my brother, my team and that of our viewers and our listeners, there are so many happening, ranging from yesterday incident between the armed forces of Liberia and that of the Liberia National Police. Mind you, there are wide range of informations and that are allegations and so forth against the Liberia National Police about their manhandling of the or some members of the armed forces of Liberia, and that news been in a corridor for a little time, or some of the news having to be the video that were trending on Sunday about one of the soldier guy that were also flogged or beaten by the police officer. So based on that, the armed forces of Liberia thought it was okay. I think some of the members do because they are unidentified according to the COS. So they came out and they decided to quote unquote revenge, like someone would say, and they did what they could do on yesterday evening, which of course does spark of mixed reactions from the public as to what's going on, the lack of control, power control, who in control, lawlessness, back to back. So as we speak, our people they are still panicked and they want to know exactly what is seen ongoing with, especially when it comes to security. But there are a lot of information out there that the security apparatus they are having meetings, couple of meetings, trying to put things under control to set up some of these things or to get everything set up before things go out of hand. So so far so good. These are some of the happening back home. Yes, indeed. Apart from the water pump or the mini project that were delegated by the president, and that also sparked a lot of debates also because mind you, there are some information that the entire project cost something around 250,000, and the rescue group said that no, this is not true. In fact, that project can be something around 250,000. So there are mixed reactions to the president project. Others are saying that I think the rescue government they are not doing well when it comes to the livelihood of our people because they promised that in fact they're going to do more better than what the previous government did. But how come they are now delegating water pump or delegating pump back to back instead of dedicating maybe 150 bedrooms hospital or 250 bedroom hospital? So far so good. These are mixed reactions from our people back home, and our people are also feeling frustrated about the Liberia National Police. And from all indications, we can safely tell you that I think the Liberia National Police lack the trust of the Liberian people, and I think they got to do everything possible to get the trust back. So far so good. Steve, Mark, and our listeners, these are what happening back home.
Okay, thank you so much, Milbo. Mo, what say you
Yes, sir.
based on all the different news? It seems like it's a busy day as usual. It seems a lot of things are going on around the country. What say you?
You know, we live in the 24 hours news cycle, and I think is a right and responsibility of Sktv. We got a different business model here. We want to give our people credible information, so we don't just see things and just run away. I woke up this morning, I saw that raid of Medamas from the Supreme Court, and people are going about the same way when the previous raid came out, how they were misinterpreting it. What happened was when the associate justice, I think it was Justice Kwekwe, right? He made a statement in the Sunny Colley or whatsoever. I don't know if it was in Nema County, but it was somewhere in Nema County, how the majority black can conduct quorum, but they don't have a speaker, and the minority black have a speaker without quorum. So this guy that filed that particular suit against the majority black action, they took that and they built a case around that and saying, you know what? From that statement alone, maybe we got a case here. So when you go to the original document, there were two constitutional provisions that it stated. First of all, they quoted Article 25 of the Constitution that says you cannot prohibit the impairment of contractual obligation. They are saying that the budget is a law, so everything in that budget becomes a law. That was the first argument they made at the Supreme Court because it's a contract. And when you have a contract, you cannot say because there is a legislative impact, so you can break away from the contract. So they are quoting. That's why I keep telling people, every provision in the Constitution only become relevant when they are tested. Just because a provision exists in the Constitution, it's not written like to say everything is 100% acceptable. They quoted that. The second thing they talked about was about how they call it, the deprivation, Article 20, the deprivation of entitlement without a fair hearing. So what the Supreme Court is saying that they are calling on the finance minister and the comptroller to come and make the case as to why these people are not getting paid, because the interpretation out there, oh, they're coming to pay Abu Kamran and they won the case, ultra virus. It was the same mistake they made with a 2.5-page document. I don't know how too few pages document can get people so confused when it comes to the interpretation. And the one position the finance minister held from the initial stage, he said, when we are making payment to lawmakers, we don't pay them on an individual level. We pay them as a body. So the case they will go and make again and say, oh, when we're giving you a salary, it's not like we call Abu Kamara or we call Yeke and pay them individually. We make salary disbursement in as an entity to the entire body. So they would be the one responsible for disbursing individual checks or payment. That's why the Supreme Court is calling them to come and clarify as to why these guys are not getting paid, because they quoted or they cited two constitutional provisions. Article 25, that calls for statutory right, and Article 20, the deprivation of entitlement, because the budget is a law. So anything within the budget is supposed to be a law. That's why that letter says. Just to clarify that, and I follow that story. I just been following on the internet and people posting. You know, it's always a classical in Liberian politics. The people who for the majority black will interpret their own way. The people who for the minority black will do their own interpretation. At the end of the day, they will go back asking for. They will be requesting how they call the stuff, Bureau of Information. I mean, the Supreme Court will make a ruling. If you don't understand it, then just wait. Don't take a side until you can get the actual understanding as to what's happening. So that's what happened, Steve. Nothing more. We'll see what happened on the 10th of March when the comptroller and that of the finance minister go and make the case. But they've been saying the same thing over and over. We don't pay individual checks. We pay them as a body. And now when you got the, how they call it, plenary in their group, or the highest decision making, maybe they are the one to make that decision. So maybe the Supreme Court will call another group of folks again for the legislature to go and make the case. But the finance minister and the comptroller, they're not changing their position. They say, no, we don't distribute individual check, and we are not the one that can withhold people benefit or salary. We pay them as a body, and then they distribute their own check. So that's where it stands. Are you guys hearing me? Steve, I think you are muted. I don't know if you are hearing me.
Yes,
Okay.
Mark,
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry. Well, that's a fair argument, Monk. I think tomorrow we'll spend time on maybe reading that particular communication from the Supreme Court. I think reading it would help a lot. I ran across it.
I want to ask more questions, but go ahead, Steve.
I ran across it.
Right on the screen, Steve. It's very, very short. Right here.
You have it available?
Yeah. Maybe I'm going to put on the screen too for the audience to see it just in case, but I got it right here.
Let me do quickly. Yes, indeed. Let me try.
Okay, while you're working on that, in other news, President Jose Yuma Bouaka yesterday went to Bapolu to dedicate, according to them, pump of water for the people in Bapolu County. Let me say this to all of us folks. You know, sometimes I don't blame our people and I don't try to be condescending or disrespectful. But it's just the truth of the matter that when you know better, you act better and you think better. The way I thought, my thought process when I was in Africa, when I was in high school, it's not the same as my thought process now. And the reason for that is because I've seen a lot of things. I've traveled to a lot of different countries. Basically, I don't want to use our Liberian word. I've seen life, but I'm exposed. I am. And I'm exposed to different lifestyles, different cultures, different experiences, and different things in life. And so when you build what President Jose Yuma Bouaka dedicated yesterday, for me, it means nothing. Maybe for the people in Bapolu, at the first time seeing water, it means something to them. But here is a bigger question. It's not about the people in Papua. It's about the people who are in charge. Joseph Human Burgers with 40 years experience. Mo Ali didn't go to school in Liberia. Mo Ali went to school in Europe with government money. Joseph Human Burgers and travel all around the world. On government expense, the Liberian people pay for him. He eat free, he sleep free. Everything he does is free on the Liberian people. Now, when you want to come back to use the Liberian people who wanting to do something for them, do something that is durable with longevity, big, that will make sense. Just like you bought 1 million point car for yourself, bulletproof car. You 18-year-old man. What are you protecting? What are you protecting? But you could spend that on your one yourself. Just you. 1 million. But you claim to get our people only 250,000 water. That means 4 times that 1 million came from in that money. And you say, I should celebrate you, like you're doing a Labrador favor. You see, this is where some of us gets annoyed. This is where some of us, the passion that is in there come in. Because when you start peeping on somebody here and telling them, say, really, like with stupid people, that's where some of us get mad. Or you can spend 1 million on yourself. Your one life is important more than everybody else in the country. Or you get a Liberian pool, you all say that 250,000, which is still under scrutiny. You're I know, rescue Ramon or whatever it is, all of you corrupt. You're a serious minded group of people. You're fighting each other. The other one say, I need money. The other one say, I see Mo Ali passing around recruiting people to make kids for him or whatever it is. Let me tell you something. Mo Ali is as indecent as it gets. Let me say it today. Mo Ali is of no reputable character. Mo Ali is as criminally minded as the rest of the people. So I don't take Mo Ali seriously. I don't take Mo Ali seriously. Until you can have an independent person to go and investigate that to come and give me a result for them. I don't take what Mo Ali said at face value. No, I don't. Mo Ali is a crook. Mo Ali sat in court. In court. I'm saying it today. Mo Ali sat in court. Case went to court level here and lie. Say he's not a Christian, he's not a Muslim. That I want to listen to. The man went in court. The next few days when the Muslim people were breaking their fast, and he was there collecting meat, that joker. And I want to listen to say he build it one, he do the one, he do that one. I say Mo Ali try to hike me. That Mo Ali, you see what it? That Mo Ali, that criminally minded Mo Ali. Mo Ali, they're not serious, man. So I don't take him seriously. I don't care about what he says. People that got no integrity, that got nothing to stand for. They use government lie with shamelessly. We have Mo Ali on tip asking a young girl to take up pregnancy. Nothing was done about it. Nothing was done. And you want to come and say, I should believe what Mo Ali say. Okay, y'all go believe what you want to believe. I don't get a problem with that. The only thing I'm saying is, our people deserve better. We are in the 21st century. You don't bring the kind of low life things to our people. And I see other people who live in America who got good water. Drinking water that they pay tax for, celebrating that crap that they carry over there. That maybe was so spoiled in 1 or 2 weeks again. Then they will put money in the budget again, collect it to go eat it because they say they want to repair it. This is the way they behave to keep our people in poverty. That's what they do. The same way with the roads when Joey had and King. You know, when I say these things, when some of us come out and say these things, people won't get there. They go, they patch the road, they got it, other people, and they bring there, they get a small money, they go, they collect it back from there, they go to the same company, and they create their own company, and they put money there, they collect, you know, just the criminal, just that criminal way of behaving, and they behave like they're smart, because they exploit from their own people, steal from their own people on a thing that you're supposed to do for your own people that you're supposed to be passionate about. The country where you born your children that will grow up in that country. When we talk it, then you'll get this. When we say it, you'll get this. Look, we must do better for our people. We must give them the best they deserve. Our people now suffer too much. And not Joseph Braga doing favor for the Liberian people. That Labrampo money. And I'm more Ali doing favor for the Labrampo. That Labrampo money. Let's do it the best way. Let's get it up to standard within the 21st century. You know better, do better. Do better. Do better. If you know better, do better. Now, if I the own money that we're taking from the pockets to do something for the Labrampo, or you can rest assured, I will not have any problem because of favor they're doing for the Labrampo. But the Labrampo, our own money. Our own money. And somebody says, oh, come and celebrate it. I see people passing on Facebook. Oh, yeah, we thank you. We celebrate y'all. Before we can look into it, let's celebrate it. Something wrong with you. You're thinking backwards. Most of you. I must celebrate something without asking the right question, but I must just celebrate. Okay. Okay. So if you didn't celebrate, then you can't ask questions. And see how you backwards. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we need to do better. All of us. Able to do better does not mean anything. Yep, Monk, go ahead before we go to the letter.
Well, I think you made a very salient point, and that's what the problem is. That's why I keep telling you sometimes when you sit back after election, you do your own analysis and just see how people vote and how they make decisions. You will not want to blame the regular people because, look, people in society look up to people. When you claim to be educated, when you claim to be someone who travel and live in other advanced society, there are certain expectations, there are certain requirements. People look up to you, right? Like you said, Mo Ali, someone who went to school in the First War, came here. I don't know whether it was London or where he went to school for his water filtration or degree or whatsoever when it comes to water treatment, all that stuff. Okay, if you got a budget, that's why I keep saying it's a business model. That's where this is where the government and the people in the diaspora always colluding when it comes to the expectation for our people, right? A guy like me, I went to a couple of countries before coming here. I saw how other people are living, right? I know the kind of a stand on the expectation that is set. I go back to Liberia and I want to do stuff like prehistoric human. Then why is the essence of coming to the Western world? Why is the essence of going to school or to say, I want to make myself better? The thing here is you have a budget to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. We have only 15 political subdivisions. You want to build a water treatment supply for 250,000? How does that make any sense? Why not a couple of million? Why not increase the capacity by 10 or 15 times to make it better or make it durable so more people can benefit? But like I said, when you keep people in poverty to a certain level, they believe that anything that they do will be hailed as something great. So for them, it's a business model. That's how they maintain power. Steve, think about this. You came to this country or went to other African countries, you saw parks and outdoor play facility, right? And Liberia is 177 years old. If somebody built a park in today's environment, will you consider that development? It won't be considered development because you are way behind time. Other people have been doing that 40, 50 years ago. So, but in Liberia, they do this thing because they think that they can score political points. That is why they don't want to improve the living standard of our people, because that way they maintain their grip on power. Because there is nowhere in the world you would tell me you got a budget of $880 billion and you want to build a water treatment or water supply for the people of Babalu and you're spending $250,000. But yet Joseph Baca bulletproof car can cost maybe $750,000 to $800,000 US. Are you telling me the car that protects an 80-year-old man should be 10 times or 5 times more expensive than a water treatment that supplies hundreds, if not thousands of people? But that's what I bring for you, my brother.
I think Melbourne left because they're going to go to the news bulletin there. But Monk, while we're waiting for Melbourne to resume, these are some of the concerns that we've raised. These are some of the things that we've said. These are some of the questions that we've brought up, and people hit us. Because like you said, Monk, let me tell you this. The government or the leader that will be the perfect leader for Liberia will be that leader that attends to the basic needs and the necessity of the Liberian people. You can rest assured that the day you lay your hand on that leader, nobody will care about politics in our country. Nobody, no Liberian will talk about politics again. In fact, no Liberian will want to do political thing or to even go and vote against that leader. Because first thing first, first thing first. The most important basic needs of the people will be met.
Nikita Roberts presenting.
Anyway,
The Liberian Senate has passed the 2012 Act to establish Bomi County College to create a Western Region University. The internal wrangling at the House of Representatives has surfaced before the Supreme Court again with a writ from presiding justice in chamber of the Supreme Court. The plenary of the Liberian Senate has mandated its Committee on Commerce to investigate issues relating to rising prices in the country. And out of Liberia, the top judge in the United States has given temporary backing to the Trump administration's freeze on foreign aid payments. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. The internal wrangling at the House of Representatives has surfaced before the Supreme Court again with a writ from presiding justice in chamber of the Supreme Court. Justice Ciaran Clinton Johnson on Thursday issued the alternative rates of mandamus as prayed for by 7 suspended lawmakers by the majority bloc in connection to their illegal suspension without salaries. The mandamus, according to RCI judicial correspondent, is a special proceeding to obtain a rate requiring the respondent to perform an official duty consistent with Chapter 16, Section 16.21(2) of the Civil Procedure Law. Our judicial correspondent said as a result of Justice Johnson's February 27, 2025 writ, the majority bloc headed by Representative Richard Cohn and the Ministry of Finance has been mandated to file their response on or before March 10, 2025 to the 7 suspended lawmakers' accounts, which will set the stage for legal argument as provided by law. Those suspended lawmakers are Frank Safoko, Eugene Cully, Zina Norman, Elise Sambora, Melvin Snow, Abu Kamara, and Ed Wapi Flomer. Our judicial correspondent further said that the 7 suspended lawmakers' request for a rate of mandamus came in the wake of Associate Justice Yamin Bwisse's statement during the opening of the February term of court in Nimba County. The Liberian Senate has passed an act to repeal the 2012 Act to establish Bomi County College to create a Western Region University. The Senate's decision was triggered by a report from its Joint Committee on Education and Public Administration, Judiciary, Claims and Competition, as well as Ways, Means, Finance, and Budget, recommending the passage of the bill. The decision is to improve access to higher education, contribute to development in the Western region. The bill, when concurred with by the House of Representatives, Bomi County College will be transformed into Western Region University based in third-member Bomi County. According to the Senate's communication, the bill also aims to drive economic growth in the Western region by developing a skilled population to support key sectors such as agriculture, mining, and healthcare. The Bomi Community College is Liberia's oldest government-owned community college, awarding associates and arts degrees in various fields over a 2-year period. The Western region, which includes Bomi, Bapulu, and Grand Cape Mount counties, is among Liberia's mineral-rich areas with a growing population of approximately 408,567 inhabitants, majority of whom are young people. The plenary of the Liberian Senate has mandated its Committee on Commerce to investigate issues relating to rising prices in the country. The Senate's plenary decision was predicated upon a communication from Sano County Senator Kion Duncan calling on the body to cite authorities of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry so as to seek remedy to the rising prices of commodity. In his communication, Senator Duncan said the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, being responsible for the growth and development of Liberia's economic and international trade, and which has the regulatory mandate to handle the issue of prices and commodities, seems to be reneging on its role of price control. The lawmaker in his communication said the lack of measures to curb the rising prices of commodities in the country, coupled with the devolution of the Liberian currency on a daily basis is causing economic hardship. Judge Roosevelt Willie is expected to grant or deny ex-Finance Minister Samuel Tweed and others' request to dismiss or trash their criminal indictment on Friday, February 28, 2025 at Criminal Court C. Defendant Tweed and others' legal team have since filed a motion before Judge Roosevelt Willie seeking to dismiss the indictment drawn against them on allegation of stealing over $6 million United States dollars from the government of Liberia during the administration of ex-President George Weah. Judge Willie pending decision, according to RCR judicial correspondent, is a result of Wednesday's legal argument between defense and prosecuting lawyers, which was characterized by claims and counterclaims with the objective of convincing the court for verdict. Our judicial correspondent further said the Friday's ruling is crucial for the both legal team as it will determine whether the ex-finance chief and other criminal prosecution will continue or will come to an end at the criminal court C. Ahead of the court decision, defense lawyers' 10-count motion, among other things, cited the 2011 Act creating the National Security Reform and Intelligence as their reliance to dismiss the indictment. Section 3F of the Act states that every member, personnel, or employee of the National Security Council shall be deemed a trustees of the secrets of the country. The application mandate that over $6 million United States dollars that led to their indictment was used for national security operations. As such, coming to court to disclose any information that will be in violation of 2011 National Security Act. Mines and Energy Minister Wilman Pay says the poverty that Liberians are engulfed with is man-made and not the destiny of the country. According to Minister Pay, Liberia as a nation has enough resources to better the livelihood of citizens instead of blaming the development of the country to the lack of leadership. Minister Wilman Pay revealed that over the years, there was serious interference in the workings of the Ministry of Mines and Energy, which he said has since undermined the mining sector. Speaking Thursday at guest doing prayer organized by the Liberia Diamond Gold and that's Mineral Brokers Union in Monrovia, Minister Pay paid special homage to President Joseph Boakai for expressing no interest over them making the sector productive so Liberia can benefit from the natural resources. Meanwhile, Minister Wilman Pay boasted of several reforms at the Ministry of Mines and Energy, ranging from procurement of some equipment for proper monitoring. A pro-democracy group, InfoQuest Liberia, has alarmed over significant gender disparity in the legislature. As means of enhancing legislative accountability and responsiveness through increased monitoring and advocacy, the organization, with support from the Irish Embassy, commenced its gender-sensitive legislative monitoring project in January of this year. Giving its January progress report at a news conference on Thursday in Monrovia, InfoQuest Acting Executive Director Ezekiel Allen disclosed lack of gender-sensitive bills for session held in January. According to him, the organization's monitors assigned at the legislature captured 6 females compared to 43 males during sessions in the month of January. Allen further underscored that much is needed to be done in reaching the threshold of 30% female representation as provided by law. And out of Liberia now, the top judge in the United States has given temporary backing to the Trump administration's freeze on foreign aid payments. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts' intervention comes as the administration faces a midnight deadline to pay contractors. Officials had argued that they could not process the payment within the time frame set by a lower court judge. Since coming to power in January, U.S. President Donald Trump has taken quick action to end many aid programs, largely run by the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, and placed most of its staff on administrative leave or sacked them. the Trump administration is seeking to shrink the federal workforce and cut costs in a drive led by Elon Musk. During this newscast, the recap of the top stories. The Liberian Senate has passed an act to repeal the 2012 act that established Bomi County College to create a Western Region University. The internal wrangling at the House of Representatives has surfaced before the Supreme Court, again with a writ from presiding justice in chamber of the Supreme Court. The plenary of the Liberian Senate has mandated its Committee on Commerce to investigate issues relating to rising prices in the country. And out of Liberia, the top judge in the United States has given temporary backing to the Trump administration's freeze and foreign aid payment. That's our CNN News Bulletin at 7 and Nakita Roberts.
Okay, folks, as we're with the return of Melbourne here, Monk, how do you react to the news that you heard before we pivot here to the other conversation of the day that will lead us into the callers for today? What say you?
Oh, nothing strange except for that one from Bomi County about the university extending or winning the Western region or for people in. I think it's a great idea, but like I said, in Liberia, mostly it's our spending priority. We could do these things. They are not much. Because if you had if you were to extend a university somewhere in the Western cluster, there are people coming from Bapolu, Grand Cape Mine, and Bomi, at least they won't have to come to the city. But if you have a university that is in the capital city that lack basic logistical support, how can you expand going to other counties or in other regions of the country? That's where the problem is. We don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem in terms of priority. That's what Liberia problem is. We don't know how to allocate resources. We don't know things that are important to the betterment of people in the country. And everything goes to the recurring expenditure and payroll and people giving themselves all kind of perks and benefit. That's where it is. It's in the situation with the water. That's why it happens. Yeah.
Okay, so basically we're not disciplined spin-offs.
Yeah.
We don't spend well. That's true. And sorry to say, when we say these things, people get offended. But the truth about it is the men who we have in power, Jose Yuma Puaka, are also not disciplined in spending, as evidenced by that he was living on loan before becoming president. After
Steve, let me call you out 1 second. The same thing happened, right? For an employee. You know, there are some people that make way less money, but the quality of their life is better because why they prioritize their spending habit. So the thing is not about how much you make, it's how you prioritize and how you spend. Somebody could be making $25 an hour. They could be having more money in their saving than someone who makes $40 an hour. If you get a bad spending habit, it won't matter how much you make. It's all about discipline. It's all about priority. But anyway, go ahead. I just want to tell me what
that's true. You can be making small money, and you in Liberia can say you know how to manage it, and you live better. But you can be making plenty of money if you're a loose spender and you don't know how to manage. Let me say this. I can hear people saying, "Oh, well, people know how to manage their money." They say you stingy. No, you're not stingy. You just know how to manage your money, and you are not going to spend it on foolishness, on things that are not important, on things that are not valid, or whatever it is. You're not going to do that. Not because you have it. I mean, you're going to be wasteful, right? You're not going to be lavishing, living or lavish. How can we be begging? I saw Neman preach what a guy named this morning, Edwin Snow, trying to make excuses for the cars that they buy for them. How can you be borrowing money to go buy that kind of car for yourself? The people who you borrowing from not even buying that kind of car for the representative there. How? So how? When we say this thing, y'all get very well. But how does that work? By the way, Monk, let's come to the issue of the day that Melbourne raised. Because I read a conversation, I read a communication here. Melbourne sent a communication to us, and I think he will post it too. I read a communication from the AFL. Let me read it quickly here to our people from the AFL. I'm very confused. The Armed Forces of Liberia. I'm confused, Milbo. I'm confused, Mark. And maybe you will help us out because there are two folds one look at it. One look at it from an international standpoint, what it means. The pictures that we just
Where you got it from? Melbourne, please pull in my inbox. Let me take a look at it too, because I don't know where you're talking about for the AFL.
AFL, Melbourne, if you can please post on the show here, put it on the screen while I'm confused. But let me read it first, then we'll go into what the AFL wrote versus what is the image that is sent out there. Because from the whole communication, you loaded that damage control mode that it in. But let's listen. Let's listen to the release it yesterday, according to them. I'm not sure this is yet to be authenticated because I've never been on the AFL site. This is alleged from the AFL. Here's what's written. Armed Forces of Liberia, and what the site looks like. Press release, dated February 26, 2025. The Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Major General Davison F. Foley, condemns the unauthorized attack and use of force by unidentified military personnel against a police officer, hereby calls for calm as investigation is underway. It can be recalled that early Wednesday afternoon, on the 26th of February 2025, some unidentified, keep that word unidentified because it's very important in this conversation, some unidentified military personnel allegedly attacked a police officer at the Sktv-Lib Road junction for reasons not yet established. This action by these unidentified AFL personnel acting on their own, not sanctioned by the high command of the AFL, is concerning and requires swift intervention, as was seen by the arrival of senior officials of the AFL and the LNP on the scene to de-escalate the situation to restore calm. The high command of the AFL calls for calm and assures the public that it is in active communication with the national security authorities to ensure that this situation stays under control. Meanwhile, an immediate investigation by the Provost Marshal and the Legal Affairs Unit of the AFL have been launched to establish the facts. The AFL remains a force of good. Major Alhaji Dora Nyanti Jebo, Acting Chief of Staff, Acting Chief of Public Affairs, Armed Forces of Liberia. So Major Jebo signed this according to this press release. Monk, what say you first of all about this communication?
Well, it seems like the authority within the AFL trying to distance themselves while they pretending they reassuring the public and saying that these individuals, they are unidentified, meaning they were acting on their own. But at the same time, look, it's like one minute you say you try to de-escalate the situation and make sure things are restored, and then another minute you're telling that the people who carry on they are unidentified. I don't know what to take from this short communication. Right. I don't know what to say, because if one of them were attacked and few guys went to play safety for their guard or to play quarterback for their guard, I know that it will not be a command coming from the higher ups. That's one thing that I know for sure. But saying that they are unidentified men, that raises more questions. And I think the public will be asking for more answer in this case, because you cannot say you want to restore calm and you want to de-escalate at the same time saying that the people that were involved are unidentified. I don't know what to make of it. Kind of a little bit confused.
Yeah, but Mom, before we go to the bigger picture of all of this, let's come back though, because I can play the devil advocate and say maybe the army have not, because this is what they will say, have not concluded the investigation, so they couldn't name these guys. They couldn't name them to the public or whatever it is. So that's why they use the term unidentified. What will be your reaction?
My brother, I don't know who wrote this communication. I think it came from the public affairs president, because Steve, you talk Steve, about Steve. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mom, let me just say something. From this morning, we've been discussing this communication in the Vera quarters, and I always I've been telling people that the AFL authority is trying to play a damage control game, as you said, right? Even if you follow the social media, both authorities are working together. They just visited the veteran at the hospital, the Army Chief of Staff, the Inspector General of the LMP. They visited the veteran. That they finish. They finish. That was how
So
they just want to control the damage.
Yeah, maybe go ahead. Before
yes,
I say
thank you. Yes, indeed. Thank you, all of you. I think to what Brother Cassidy just said or just stated, I think the armed forces of Liberia, let me be frank, some of us, we have a lot of people from the armed forces of Liberia, including our family members, relatives, and so forth, brothers and sisters in the armed forces of Liberia. And they've been going through this for a little time. And let me be frank, and let me just say this, from the hands of the Liberia National Police, the armed forces of Liberia feel that they are being overlooked, they are being intimidated, they are being insulted by the Liberia National Police. Because even if you go back to the situation, in fact, reaching from the video that prompted all of this situation from last Sunday, you understand that it was a very easy situation according to information and some of the news that we got, that soldier or that army personnel was on the motorbike, trying to find a way maybe somewhere, but just because of maybe one or two restrictions and so forth on the motorbike restrictions, so they try to get him off, off the bag and so forth. But after identifying himself, showing his identity and so forth, in fact, according to even information, his ID card was also torn apart, spoiled and so forth. And so, in fact, they even got doing shites and so forth. So when the guys from the armed forces saw that, they said, oh, okay. So like maybe we are now, or maybe quote losing everything. We are now losing the respect. We are now losing everything from the Liberia National Police out there, which of course that when they're in a huge situation, they won't be able to handle all the situation. They are now insulting us and they are not doing this to us. So maybe based on that, I think that's why they choose some of the officers who are identified. They choose to do what they did on yesterday evening. But again, like Cassidy said, I think this all about damage control because, mind you, the citizens are on their side. So, Steve, where do you want to go? If the citizens say, Steve, what you doing? We are happy. For you coming out, you are coming out to even rescue us because we are in hell. Because what we're going through from the hands of the Liberia National Police is terrible. Thank you for coming out. So, what? Even if that you, so you want to even make that press release to be like, in fact, it's even more favorable on your part. So I think it's all about damage control. And now since the press release came up, we haven't yet any news about police officers going to the barrack to even identify some of the police, some of the soldiers we were seeing yesterday on the street, even beating the police officer. So then that means that tells you that people will say, okay, the layman down the line will say, okay, like maybe the police officer, maybe they maybe they were not doing the right thing. Maybe that's why they remain quiet. Maybe that's why they remain mute because they are not working together. I'm seeing Gregory Como and that of even the chief of staff now visiting federal hospitals. And even on tomorrow morning, they will be on ELBC together to discuss national security issues. So
we'll come to the image that it presents outside because that damage control is on. But let me say something. There are some things that we do behind closed door. Some of us we don't like to talk. There are some places we go. There are some people we interact with, and there are some people we meet. We don't disclose it in the public, and we will not disclose certain things. But let me say this just from observation. There is a need for either training, reshuffle, or some kind of establishment of leadership within the police. Now, I say this to say not to beat on the police or push on the police or criticize anyone from the police or whatever. I could sit on the show and criticize the police. As far as I'm concerned, they will not do anything. But there is a need for it. Let me tell you why. I've witnessed consistent brutality and use of unnecessary force by the police, whether it be on surveillance or it be on other people. And part of the reason for all of these things are either in combination with the training that they've gotten, some of them the stress. Look, let me say this. The police is the most underpaid group of security forces in our country right now that do most of the work and the heavy lifting with the citizenry. Starting from President George Weah time. Almost all the riots, they were there. They're sacrificing their lives. They're putting themselves on the line. And so sometimes some of these stress, some of these frustration, they don't know how to handle it and manage it. So they demonstrate these things in an angry way. The way they react, the way they receive information, the way they reciprocate things, right? So if you notice the police, they're quick to move to force. And normally police are not trained to just run. Force is not the first way. They teach them, they focus on a lot of these de-escalation techniques. They focus on them being friendly with the community because they interact with the community. You know what it would mean if the community turn against the police people and start hunting them one by one and start getting rid of them? Do you know what that would mean? We don't even have enough police people. Then the community or the Liberian people start going against them because they earmark or earmark the other person and say that the other one beat us. Okay, no problem. We set for the war. That they want, did the war. During the riot, that the other one. You know what that would mean? So this is a serious thing that could degenerate. Secondly, the first time we really saw army in the street or army cars or whatever it is in the street, in most recent time too, let's go back. It was around Joe Weah time. When the June 7 protest was coming. Let me say this. We are not hypocrites on this show. We will lay the precedences, we will check governments and leaders, and we'll state the facts. Regardless of which side it comes from, you'll get there, you won't get there. But we saw it. If you can recall during June protests, armed men were parading the streets with long guns and so forth. These were not police personnel. That in itself sends a wrong message. The army should not be in the streets. And while police and other security apparatus are there and are their responsibility. There is no crisis. There is no curfew. Nothing of that kind. So why are we having the army in the street? And one of the things I've always said, and I will say on the show again, one of my very first observations as an adult when I came back to Liberia was the position of the army barrack. I don't know who builds an army barrack in the middle of the city, right within the direction of the airport, where in the army barrack saying that right between the surveillance and the airport. If something happen, you're locked in. Yeah, we'll be saying anything again. So today or tomorrow when it happens, we can remind you. And that's why some of you can say we criticize, they will criticize that, we criticize, they will criticize that. Because we tell you ahead of time before it happens. So that when it happens, we can remind you. And when we are reminding you, then we'll rub it in your faces. So let me say this to the army also. I think this idea of trying to distance yourself, some responsibility should be taken. Because you can say that unknown men, the monk say, but at the same time you're investigating unknown men. Okay, great. The day you find the unknown men who are not part of you guys, even if they are unknown men, I agree with your logic that they are unknown men. Also unknown men where army clone are parading as army in the country. That's a serious problem.
That's a serious accusation against the AFS soldiers to call them unknown men.
Yes, that's remember the word unknown men or unknown soldiers.
No soldiers.
You know, we joking, we're laughing with these things in our history. It's written there unknown men killed President Tobo. And they seen conversation that come back unknown men. You know, some of all we like to remind you guys, and we'll continue to remind you guys. We will continue to remind you guys. Our interest is to do the right thing for that country. But Monk, that comes to the second part of the before we get to the lines. Monk, you as an investor, Liberia has been crying for aid. You said out. The government is struggling to attract international investors or foreign investor, whatever it is. You wake up in the morning and you say, you know what? I want to give them a chance. But you send your people out to do the necessary research and say, okay, we're getting the month of March. I'm trying to send people there to go and do, go and scout the place and see what's going on. But you work on the next thing you see on the headlines of the newspapers, AFL beating police.
Yes.
What say you, Monk?
That's the self-sabotage we keep talking about on Sktv, and people believe that there is no sense of control. There is no adult in the room to give people the assurance or the guarantee that someone is supervising the entire country. And you're seeing it happening everywhere. That's why I keep saying the whole possibility of investors coming to library, just wishful thinking, because investors love stable society. Look, Steve, when everything breaks down in society, people look at the justice system one. From the justice system, they look at the Supreme Court. From the Supreme Court, it's the military. The military is the lender of last resort, like we say in banking and financing. Well, when everything else fails, the only hope you got for the military to come and say, enough is enough. So when you can wake up in a country and see unknown men that they higher ups from within the AFL saying that unknown men, like the unknown soldier that killed a president, they are literally telling that even we as security people, we don't know who is the real security, because the statement you have been released is very, very contradicting. Further, all you say, the actions from these unknown men, it never came from the higher command. That's one. But then you send senior official or senior officer to go and de-escalate. How can you send senior officer to de-escalate from the action of people who are unknown? You see the contradiction right there? So my thing here is, my brother, we can cry when they bereaved. That's a bro for you. It's happening everywhere. That is why I keep saying, I think I said on the show yesterday, I said, you know what? It's not only about the incident. For me, I don't like to look at one situation and make a doctrine of it. You got to look at the trend from the lawmaker to the executive branch, now to the security apparatus. It seems like everything is broken down and you just cannot make sense as to where the country stands. Forget the investor aspect, just for the common guarantee or assurance from the people, the Liberian people themselves. Because the investor, they got their money, they will always try to invest. I know the condition must be laid out before they can come. But just for the peace and civility of the country itself, the ordinary Liberian don't have a sense that the country is having someone supervising or having things under control.
Quickly, I wanted to react to the other side of it too also. You wake up a day before and you saw a policeman beat an AFL man, throw it in the back of a car.
Good. There were our coming, Steve, because wait, be like, we're beating police, then we're
tossed to balance the conversation. You wake up the day before, you were contemplating and say, okay, they put chance. Maybe that was a criminal, but you established the fact that it was an AFL man that was beaten by police and throwing up, But not only that, before that day, you woke up and saw civilians in the street, in a scuffle with the same police group of people. Let me say this thing more before you reply. All the police people,
even lawmakers.
Let me say that thing, Melbourne. Let me say that thing before you reply, Monk. I beg you, please. All the law enforcement in America, all the Liberian and law enforcement in America, like in police, in whatever it is that has to do with law enforcement. Do you know I'm on the board of director for all of them?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we don't talk about these things in public, right? Do you know that? Do you know that efforts have been made to reach out to Gregory Cuomo so that there can be some training from here for the police over there? But they're playing big shots, they're running around, they're refusing it because they are afraid they think that people will come for and take their job. You see how when we come on the network and we decide to talk certain things because we know certain things are happening behind closed door. We want our country to be right, but these guys are intimidated. They feel that this is about job business. They got to protect their job. So anybody living from this side with any kind of knowledge or anything, the only thing they want for you to do to go there and what are they supposed to do to build the life of our people? They say you can't do it for them. Why they steal the money? And not today I talk about the other one show today. The reason I'm saying these things is because these are some of the things that can go out of hand and things degenerate. Like, yeah, you're passing around with my pray to God, so war can come. That the thing that I can bring war here, that is there. That is right here. That the thing that I can scare people from coming to put their money in the country, that ain't here. That we're doing it every day. When you wake up the next day, you see police officer drilling a lawmaker car. Because one other lawmaker can come in. You wake up the next day, you see sergeant of arms dragging lawmaker from in a station. And you stay because you part of the other group, so you come on air You go other places and you defend that nonsense. Monk, how do you react as an investor? How can we attract people to these kind of things?
That's why investors find somewhere else to go rather than doing business in Liberia. That's why we got a very poor. I think there was an article from, I think, the same Front Page Africa talking about the investment climate in Liberia, one of the poorest in Africa. I think we are among the least. So the issue of job going to be a problem for a very, very long time. And like I said, it's keep happening in almost every aspect of the government. You got lawmakers that want to impeach a Supreme Court Chief Justice. You got 2 speakers on a single roof of the national legislature. You got people who bypass the hiring protocol. We saw what happened between A.B. Kroma and Fadiga. When it came to hiring professionals going through the training, one person accusing the other person saying, you know what, the standard we have here, the operating procedure for hiring people here, you even bypass it to bring your own people on board. So it's not strange for me. The only thing that was strange for me was it's been a long time since I've seen the AFL in the streets in Liberia. And for the fact that people were cheering the military, because the thing about military, the police, they got a different, even though they're the same security apparatus, but they got different and distinct roles and functions. You know, you will interact with the police more than likely before you can see an army man. So when this kind of a situation happen, because look, they say familiarity breeds contempt, right? You interact with the policeman every day, he pulling you over, he asking you for your car document. Yeah, at a certain point in time, you want to disrespect the police officer. It's just natural for people to behave that way in Africa. You won't do that to the military men because you don't interact with the AFL every single day as opposed to the police. So in terms of morale and credibility, it's more than likely that people will side with the AFL. But for that situation to escalate, that will warrant officers coming from the barracks to come and provide some kind of a security for their colleague, and you are telling me they are unidentified, but you were able to send senior officials to go and de-escalate. That's where I think the miscommunication and the whole damage control thing, it doesn't make any sense to me, but it's happening all over the country, and people just get a sense that someone is the head of the chief, how do you call it, the chief executive. He's not the one running the show, and that's the number one consensus you can build in Liberia at the moment in terms of leadership. The man who's supposed to be called the shot.
And can say the question. You have 1 minute. Yeah. The line for our people. Let me ask both of you the question. Should they blame people on Joseph Yuma Braga as a president with 40 years of experience, 40 years plus of experience, the country under him? In less than 1 year and a half under his leadership, the country's image has gone down the drain. Whether you like it or not, this is not a political statement. These are facts. There are things that are happening. The military getting involved with the police getting involved with lawmaker getting involved with lawmaker. Just a bunch of chaos, nyama noise, so yo all over the country. That's just limited to surveillance. What say you, Kesely? Then we'll go to Melbourne.
All right. Thank you. Steve, he is the president. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia. And he appoints the police inspector general. So at no time he will be exempted. He is fully responsible for all that is going on in this country. Even in the legislature, that nonsense happening in the legislature could be finished nonsense if the executive were not involved. See what happened in Ghana. Fonadekova, as speaker, was invited, as we were told. He left, he went ahead. Ome Bwaka ho Reggie Kuhe and took him with him in Ghana to attend an inauguration. So he is responsible.
Okay.
Say I'm beating or dragging lawmaker from session outside. He is responsible. He is responsible.
Okay.
Police, Budala and surveillance, including AFL soldiers, he is responsible. AFL retaliating, beating all what happening in the government, in the country. Ome Bwaka, sleeping Joe Bwaka is responsible.
Okay, thank you. Melbourne, how do you react to this question?
Yeah, so quickly, because of time, our people have the call in.
Yes.
Actually, you mentioned about maybe the other AFL was outside back to back, and indeed, I will agree with you that they were outside, but they were not outside for the kind of purpose where maybe they were fighting back to back. Then their maybe their peer or the Liberia National Police. So they were only outside, or maybe they were like roaming, informing the country that indeed there's security, because there are a lot of information that there were no security. So they were showing their little strength outside, parading around, to inform the citizen that indeed with me in your very homes, do your business and being tight, all is in control, as long we are here. So again, back to what happened. Look, Steve, I think the Liberia National Police lost the credibility of the people, like I said, from the beginning, that even reaching from the lawmaker, let me be frank, go back to South Africa with all of the holding and pulling in the legislature. There's no video of such incident where you see the South African police force beating on lawmakers. But we have a lot of evidence here back home where we witness Liberia National Police beating on lawmakers. So that don't speak for them that in fact we are in a lawless country, and I think the president has to take action, either one way or the other, make sure that as long as people have no more trust. Because let me be frank quickly before we go to the line. I will say this, Steve, we got to be very careful. We are now on, someone will say, on a time bomb with the Liberia National Police and now the citizens. Because the reason that is very, very simple. Along the citizens, they are angry with the police. That means something is wrong. So either way, the RG either have to step down to give way, or something, some kind of change how to be done. Well, for me, from what I'm seeing, is not easy for our people, because they don't no longer they don't even want to work with the Liberia National Police again, because even reaching from the traffic, reaching from everywhere you go now, they have serious harassment. Even the motorcyclists, they'll be protesting on Monday. They are even agitating that, in fact, even when they're not being given permission, they're still going to protest. And so there are so many tensions. And all among all the tensions, we don't know what's going to happen next. Yeah, so let's go to the line.
Go to the line, beg you, please.
Okay, good. So let's go to the line to interact with our people quickly. 0770-203125. That's the number for you to call right here on Truth FM 96.1. To this caller, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Agent G. I'm calling from Rotterdam, Senghor FC. So I'm afraid. Fear is in me now for the army chief to say that unknown soldier, where they want to carry on our eye. It's just a good statement of good release for the country. The president should look into that case. This is how military coup can start. That man is not telling you the truth. That particular chief of staff, but now he should resign or fire him from his job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. To this caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How you doing?
Yeah, we're good. Thank God. Go ahead.
I'm Joseph Freeman, joining from Central Town. Let me appreciate you so much for the topic. You know, the issue that General Fulekam or unknowing, it is very bad for our country. You cannot control the army, then army people come up with army vehicle, army material, everything they using it, then you say it is unknowing, they are unknowing. How can that be? It is impossible. So I think the government need to come down very hard. And let me say this, you guys are in America there. When the situation happening here, you guys are Liberian. You have found solution to the problem instead of saying it to escalate it. What's the solution to this problem? Because no matter what you stay here in America, you are Liberian. Liberia's poor, they will also affect you directly or indirectly. So when you talk, you find solution to the problem. Don't keep pushing fire. That's why I get to tell
you get president with 40 years.
And you're talking like just if I have people that can even listen.
I got the point I want to discuss with you.
Yeah, go ahead. You have people that don't even listen. All they care about is their salaries and so forth. Go ahead, yeah.
Thank you very much for your show. Maybe what they do is our Sunday. I joined a discussion for Kuminga market the legacy of former President William. Maybe you see in this country, when people in authority, when they use certain vocabulary in their communication, we should hold them back and judge them according to the word they use. If they in a bad, people say that in this country on new people, on new soldiers, also presidents who are always saying. So for people that need security, to use the word on new unidentified personnel, I was saying is to hold those people for that vocabulary and question them. Because somehow, yesterday we have problem with the police, but with the kind of vocabulary that the AFL authority use, they mean that they provoke the police. Why should they be happy or identify people in the AFL? Why? Well, so in case they judge them, remember, in case they having to judge the statement that those guys, they are doing the AFL personnel, mean that the AFL authority now to the vicinity. You see how they put a lot of people, so that thing, they really need to hold on and investigate that carefully to get the safety, the outcome, and taking it like this. For AFL to come and get up, that those guys are all identified, it means that those are in the public, in the market, or the AFL, even in AFL, without respect them, they are all identified.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't say they can statement. So that's called a good evening.
Good evening, neighbor. How are you this evening?
I'm okay. Thank God for life. Go ahead.
My name is Mamu Sefu. I'm calling from Grovel.
Okay, go ahead, my dear.
You know, for me, I just want to look at it from the two perspectives. I think your colleagues started to talk about it. One of it is that you see that in the army, the word that is being used unidentified, I think with some security knowledge is that they are currently investigating with it. It's not a time for them to just pinpoint that these are people that have done it if they do not establish it. That's the first thing. Second, you know, I also look at it from the other side. Look, as you stated, like damage control, there used to be a word the army normally used to call it SAVO. I don't know. Anybody who listen to read it will say, this thing, nothing coming from out of it. The fact of the matter that an army officer was demoralized and a group of others may see it. They could even come out of the barrack. They feel that their authority is really subduing them not to come out in those kind of things. They might just get up and then do it. Whatever come out of it, they can even dismiss them. That is it, they dismiss them, but they will come and retaliate. This is a sign that to show that there is a more need for the security sector, for the heads of them to really meet and see that there is something that is fundamentally wrong. The police, as far as we are concerned, during the recruitment process, the army never decrease its level of recruitment. The police did that to the extent they were even taking us to 9th grade students. There were people who were infiltrating people into the police. Now, at the end of the day, there are more of the kind of people who are not disciplined and they are within the police, provoking some of these things that is not too good for the government and not too good for the country. So that is what I just want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to this caller. Good evening. Quickly, we'll take a few more calls and comes over to our panelist. Hello?
Thank you, Mabel.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is was a principle like it. So for me, we have beat on the police for long, and my fight currently is strictly at the feet or at the doorsteps of the AFL. You know, we have to call space a space. To even listen to the press conference today from the heads of the security apparatus, which is the AFL for AFL personnel, it is very demeaning. Can you imagine for the AFL big president, the chief of staff, to tell us today that all of those video footages that are on social media, that are circulating on social media, and with even their car, and then this far by a lesson play, for them to tell us it was done, those actions was carried on by our new president, it means that our security system is on a serious problem. But now, the chair on security at either the House of Representatives or the House of Senate need to call the chief of staff to come and explain properly. You know, they should have told us. Few of their guys got involved in Tulsa and their ongoing investigation. It is clear. But to say this action was done, first they condemn the action, meaning there was no reason. No, two wrongs can make one right. That we agree that our security, the police officer, majority of them, they are very reckless in discharging their duty. But when the act has been committed, to dispatch AFL personnel, meaning they have come to retaliate. You know, the last time, let me conclude on this note, the last time we saw security apparatus from Guinea, they crossed in Lofa, they came and took down our flag. What was the action of the AFL? We expected them to vet their angles, so, it was that friend, man, that police they coming to. That'll be very, very clear here. The AFL, they are very wrong in this action, and they must be suspended, and some people must be dismissed. No ifs and ands. Not the police aside, the committee, they acted very strongly in discharging their duty, but then the AFL that have been honored by us. Every time we grade the AFL as the best performing government official to be in the street regularly, chasing their fellows, only because they have come in defense of one and their police. I think when they took our flag down, they're supposed to go and vent their anger in Guinea.
All right, thank you so much. Let me see quickly to Aki, 1 minute. Then we'll go back to our team of panelists. Good evening, my brother.
Everyone, I think the AFL was provoked and they bring into question leadership who's in charge, because matter of fact, there are sequences of attacks on the AFL. One, we saw the attack on the AFL personnel where he was pepper sprayed by ex-official of the LDA. Not only that, but he commanded officers of the LDA to come to his aid. And in that live video, you could see LDA officers that came to aid their former boss. Notwithstanding, there were 2 other attacks. One was clearly on picture. What did the police do? The fact that the police didn't do anything until yesterday, another attack. So I think the evidence now saw it like it's a normal thing. So they too took the normal rate. Now, let's say this. When the attack started, the guys who they say unidentified, they came with an AFL, or how do you call it, with an AFL vehicle. That AFL vehicle is registered, it's attached to a driver. Who's that driver? Is that driver also unidentified? Now, the scene was still on when the deputy chief of staff of the armed forces came. When he came, who didn't identify? Listen to him, okay, every morning he said they made series of arrests of those who came from the barracks. So if you made series of arrests and you release it, you did the arrest, it's after you did the arrest. Why are you still saying unidentified? I just don't get it. So I think I may agree with many of you who say there's nothing going to come out of it. It's just a cover up. And me, I want to add up to it and say it's a city cover up.
All right, thank you so much. So my follow-up question to all of you and to Steve and that among is, how come the citizens are cheering the armed forces of Liberia? So Mark, Steve, we're back after listening to our people. We got to go play 1 minute. We don't want...
No, I enjoy the last call of the message. Some soldier from Guinea took down our national flag because that, like, bringing down the national sovereignty, that's the greatest disrespect you can ever experience as a country. And our AFL didn't intervene, but our men that can be fighting for chicken feet, that they made to go beat. Look, let me tell you something. All joke aside, I don't think the AFL, the hierarchy mean any bad for the country. I think it will get a poor use of words or poor choice of words when you come to unidentified men. You could just say an investigation is ongoing. They got people that taking care of that situation, but by saying unknown men, then it means that there is lapses or there are loopholes that people can exploit in the same military. And for the thing about morale, I will keep telling people you must respect law enforcement officers, but more than likely, people will resist the police as opposed to the army, because you don't interact with an army man. Even when we're picking growing up in Liberia, they say police come and say, "Oh man, we get them for a minute." But when they say an army officer is coming, I think you can tell the reaction. So I understood the idea how people came on to cheer the AFL rather than the police, because when you interact with the police every single day, they say, when you scarcity bring about value, scarcity have value. You don't interact with an army officer every day. So every time an army officer appears on the scene, you are giving that due respect and that courtesy as opposed to the police. I'm not telling people to go and disrespect the police, but more than likely a policeman will be disrespected before a military officer. But it was a poor choice of word from the communication coming from the AFL. I know what they meant to say, but the sentences used in that communication, they were more than conflicting. You cannot say they acted without the command of the higher command. They were unidentified, but then senior officer went to de-escalate. That's where the problem is. And people, it won't sit well for a security standpoint. I think that's where people got a problem with. I don't think it's the intent against the use of words. That's it.
Well, Melbourne, in this situation, I will look forward to our president exhibiting leadership People need to be held accountable at the highest level. This cannot be a normal conversation. They cannot be something where the AFL and the police decide to go on radio to do damage control. But then when they go on damage control, they want to sit there and they want to read. They're not working together. It can be. It cannot be. And if Joseph Boakai wants to overlook this, y'all remember today, it will be at his own detriment. It's not a joking matter. This is not fun. No, this is not fun. This was done calculatively, and it's a problem. The image of the country is going down. But quickly, on something I want to bring to your attention. On the 17th of January, the Director General of the International Partnership from the European Union, she announced that there will be 80% slash of development offices abroad because they want to refocus their priority. You're crying on Donald Trump or noise. You're watching CD Fude from European Union. You're 80% cut or slash.
So that offering basket, they won't carry the other country. I don't know how it will work, right? Like the finance minister said.
I finished saying my own maybe a level you and Kesari now. And yo.
Well, quickly, so before we go, let me say thanks to all of our callers and the Liberian people. Indeed, they are champions because, mind you, they are the one that are keeping the peace. Because if you see the security officers or the people that we are depending on to protect life and properties, if you see them in the kind of maybe form and manner, then that alone speak volume as to where we. But again, like we've been saying, and so forth, we continue to say, I think the president, with all of his experience and so forth, I think he had to take charge because there are a series of questions out there as to who is in charge. And I think some of the questions are so embarrassing as to who really in charge of the country, whether is the Chief Justice, whether is the who, whether, there are all of these kind of questions coming back to back. So who in charge of Liberia? So I think the president have to wake up and double up, making sure that he protect the constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Thank you so much, Monk. Thank you, Steve. But I can say it quickly in passing 30 seconds. We got to go.
No more. I think I use a 30 seconds. Let me use it for him.
Yes. So quickly before.
We told you before the election.
No, but how you Still don't do it. All right, so thank you so much, gentlemen, for the time. But the honestly, I said it yesterday and I will say it again. The AFL came out to retaliate. It was a calculated plan that it made. It's good to be mad. I think what the chief of staff tried to do is to maybe cover up. And I see men who feel like they have been left alone, they have been neglected. Because what happened yesterday, they did not come on their own. They did not come on their own. But they seems to be, neglected in the process, or it means there will be the kind of skepticism in case there's any action like that in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, quickly, in passing, let me say this quickly before we go. We told you, the Liberian people, if you vote for Joseph Boakai, this is exactly what you're going to get: noise, chaos, confusion, discombobulation, and that is exactly what you got. So hey, it's on you. It's on you. The brother who call and say, "Oh, you need to get solution," instead of your calling whatever, we not get no solution to get. You're elected or man with 40 years.
Steve,
But what is the solution? You get somebody who get the only job a day in the entire life for 40 years and plus is government, and especially Liberian government. What think I'm telling the man? They say the man have all the solution to the problem. Man will hit the ground running. And I want to do ordinary election. So let them use their experiences. Nobody giving you no solution, my brother. You say Joseph Boakai get a solution for that country. Joseph Boakai will face the economy. Joseph Boakai will face the one. We told you Joseph Boakai was a joke. We told you Joseph Boakai was a joke. We told you. And some of us think about what we say. We're not changing. We are, look, our position stands because the situation has not changed. Joseph Boakai is the biggest scam and joke in the 21st century. You're sitting there, no men and no women there. You let one old man control all of your lot to your position to vote for him. And you go vote for him. Then you come from there, so get your idea. You're not serious man and group of people. Even get your idea, say, even you're not believe the idea because old men can fool you. You know, when no person fool you, it's different. But for an old man like Joseph Boakai, 80 years old, to call an entire country while living on loan to become president, and you tell me that I'm gonna give you idea, you're not ready yet. You are not ready. You not need my idea. You not need my idea. You need deliverance. You need deliverance from stupidity. That's what you need deliverance from. I don't know get there again, but let me get there. Me, I don't worry about them. They don't want to worry about themselves. They don't want to go in cycles. When you tell them don't do the one, yeah, leader, la Boakai we want. Yeah, leader, la Boakai we want. Me, we agree. Let the people bring 40 years. We not get no experience to get you. We not get nothing to get you. We not get nothing to tell you. You enjoy that mess. The mess you created, you enjoy it. You enjoy it. Even God said that with you. The last time I was praying, I told God about you. God said tell the people and said, they're not serious man, a group of people. And I'm giving you the message now. God said you're not serious in that country. You let old men to fool you. An old man, 80-year-old man can. You know when I think about it, I can just sit down for long and say, wow. An 80-year-old man who could not manage his own money after becoming vice president, fool all of y'all. An 80-year-old man position the whole country, fool all of y'all. A man who is living on loan. And you can tell me, say, I'm going to give you recommendation, I'm going to give you advice. You ready? You ready? You're not ready yet. You need deliverance, folks. You need deliverance from stupidity. I say, hey, you need deliverance from stupidity. So we're not getting no advice from you. We're not getting no advice from you. You enjoy the 40 years of experience. You enjoy Joseph Boakai coming to liberate you. Can you imagine how do you put an 80-year-old man in a sentence with rescue? You really serious for you? An 80-year-old man in the same sentence with rescue. You serious? You serious? In real life, who can rescue their friend? Somebody who 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 25-year-old, who's all rescue their friend? When they're 80-year-old man there, who's all rescue? They're not you. But the man turning around in position, and you're passing around Facebook doing bunch of food in there, and you're cursing us and attacking us, and you're insulting some of our mothers, you're paying people to insult our mother, you're intimidated, or you're cursed us. Some of you, you're cursed us for no reason. We're telling you your own good. I can't stay here, I can't talk about somebody might give you recommendation. You're not ready yet. You are not ready yet. Be waiting for the recommendation. The day you die, we'll come to your funeral and get a recommendation. The day you, on your funeral, I plan and get a recommendation. When you go into hell, I plan will come there and give you recommendation that when you go there, you might tell, say, don't say, let's say, don't keep you in someone and sell in here because your stupidity on earth. You refuse to do what is right. When we tell you do it, you argue, you fight, you curse us. You say, we will not know the politics of Liberia. You will know the politics and you enjoy the politics. They're messy, it's just starting. It's just starting. It's just starting. And me, I agree with y'all. If I've never agreed with any Unity Party partisan, I stand with y'all. I agree with you, and in your corner, Joseph Boakai is the best. I support just me. I support the government. Me. I support the Unity Party government. That's making about Mo Ali 250,000 water thing, bro. I support Mo Ali. I support Mo Ali. Mo Ali who can go in court and lie. The next day you go collect food from the Muslim people when they bring in the Ramadan. What thing you can do? The man who disgraced himself to the lowest, to the lowest of lowest. The man lie in a place. He say you're not Muslim, you're not Christian. The people are breaking their fast and what they're collecting breaking fast food. That I want to take seriously. That I want y'all can look up to be your leader and to lead country, to come to national talk. And you tell me something I advise you. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. I want to advise somebody who got 40 years experience in government. I'm not able to advise that person. It's too big for me. If I other advisor is big, and I inside. I don't care. I want to advise Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai got experience in government. And the only thing he did in his entire life, and the only thing Joseph Boakai knows. So I ain't want to advise him. So sorry, my brother. Go to Spoon Talk and other platform and where they get criminal then gather together. Let them advise you there. The place where I can go, where all of you can conglomerate in your criminality to lie, to steal, and to exploit our people. I go there and give you advice. I go there.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Monitor people who waiting to sell. Blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The project is giving us here the promise of them. The welcome and life we have here.
I lyrical
Master.
Play Paris who make you I can't Sktv venue. C'est ma Jenny.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about